Well, hello everyone. Whether you are listening to this live or watching this a week later or a year later, I want to welcome you to Midday with Andrea. Today is, let me check the calendar, it is September 3rd, 2020. And I want to welcome you to what will be the second to the last midday with Andrea that will be consistent. It's time to begin prayerfully for the fall programming. Hopefully, we will be able to pull off all of those events, but we still covet your prayers. But next week, what I want to tell you about is that we will have a midday of music. So come on back next week. Elise Metallo, who will be the praise and worship leader for our November Women's Weekend, will be here at that time, and she will just be able to give us a joyful time of music and encouragement. Those of you who did not know, last week I mentioned that this week we'd have Jessie Seneca on. She was on yesterday. We had to just do a little bit of creative timing, and she was on yesterday, but it is recorded and you can find this in the same spot. Jessie will be our breakout speaker for the September Women's Weekend coming up in a couple of weekends, and just absolutely fantastic. So I just ask that you go there, check that out, and just come on back with us next week. So why am I here alone today? This will be a short broadcast, but it will be one that is from my heart because I want to accomplish several things. I want to tell you about our upcoming events, mention some protocols. I want to give some thank yous. And I also want to be able to just leave you all with some closing thoughts. And so, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to a couple of people. First up, I want to thank Stephen Weaver, who started with Morning Cheer, because Midday with Andrea came from the platform that was used with Morning Cheer. And so I want to thank him for starting that ball off rolling. And those of you who have enjoyed Midday, I know many of you have enjoyed Morning Cheer as well. Also, I want to give a great big thanks to Josh, our AV supervisor. He has massive and talented technical support that has been offered during this time of midday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, whenever something might have looked like it got unplugged or went awry, he was right there by my side and helping me along in this process. So I want to thank Josh so much for giving up his talent during this time for these broadcasts. He has let me swim in the deep end by myself a couple of times, and so I feel confident now that I can go forward with additional broadcasts. But thank you so much, Josh, from the heart. I greatly appreciate all your assistance and kindness. And so, ladies, what I want to tell you about, and gentlemen, because you have ladies in your life whom you want to send, I want to talk about the fall upcoming events. But before I do that, I want to assure those of you who are all registered and coming, we are taking it month by month to see what the state mandates are encouraging us to do, and we are following those protocols. Two of the first events that are coming up, one of the big ones is the September Women's Weekend. And as with many of these programmings, they will not look the same way that they did before COVID times hit. First off, reservations. We're not allowed to take as many reservations like we normally would, like 400, 500 ladies. And so by definition of that, and as ladies are feeling comfortable coming, we have reduced reservations. And so we want to assure you, I want to assure you that during the times of these programmings, we will fit into a space which will allow for social distancing. Here on the property, if you have not been here yet for any of our power booths, you will see that we have signs all over the place letting you know that we do require our mask. Let's see, I have one here. We do require masks be worn at all times when you are in the building on the property, excluding if you're eating or if you are in your own sleeping room. You will see when you come that we have those social distancing markers on the floor. And so we encourage you to follow that, just to give comfort to your fellow registrants when they come, just for that social distancing, unless you've come with some number of people who are going to be in your room. You'll see some changes in our dining space, in our Water's Edge dining room. You'll see that on the floor there too, we have the social distancing markers. We will have service for you of the meals. The meals will not look the same, but they will be as tasty. I can assure you of that. We have limited space in the dining room because there is a limitation of that, but I assure you we can serve you all because there will be a wider time space for your meals, so you can cycle through there, and you can take your meals to any place on the property. Many who have been here already just enjoy taking it out to the chairs and being by the water and having their meals. So your meals will be served in a to-go box. So we ask that you just go on our website, sandycove.org. We have the protocols listed there that note many of the necessary changes. But as I say in my pre-event documents that I'm sending to all of the program recipients, is that while many changes will be had, some of the things will not be available for our conferences like we normally have to avoid gatherings in one spot. But what will not change is two things. One, our desire to bring you closer to God. And two, what will not change is the Word of God. And when it is spoken here, that will not change. So we are still offering the opportunity for you to come, be closer to God, to hear His Word, and yes, for many of you to have a brief time of respite. And so I'm just going to run right through some of my upcoming events that we're planning, and I'm going to be doing double duty here and pressing some buttons. So bear with me as I'm talking, because what I want to do is I want to show it visually to you as well. So first thing coming up is the Caretakers Retreat. That is coming up September 11th through 13th. And we had your facilitators for this on the morning cheer broadcast. Bob and Nancy Moore and myself, we were on there. So please check it out. For most of these, you will recall that we've had these speakers, these wonderful speakers on Midday with Andrea. And so I refer you back to the video so that you can check that out. But the Caretakers Retreat, that is coming up September 11th through 13th. And I am encouraging you, if you know someone who is a caregiver, whether they are a professional, whether they are caring from someone out of home or in home, would you come alongside them, please, and give them the capacity to be able to come away and have a brief moment of respite, as well as just to be able to come amongst others similarly situated in order to talk about some of those very real topics. That's the Caretakers Retreat, September 11th through 13th. Following fast on that is the Fall Women's Weekend of September 18th through 20th. And this is where we'll have Nicole Eunice as our speaker and Jessie Seneca as a breakout speaker. Both of these ladies, you can find the videos of Midday with Andrea where we spoke to these wonderful ladies. Come on out. Again, we will not have a crowd of 400 ladies. Registration is kept low. We do have space for more, and we are planning for you. There are some exciting additions, while there are some subtractions to what we will be doing, because we want to be cautious this first time out, but there are some wonderful additions. So please come and join us at that time. Immediately following that, we will have Restore Me happening September 20th through 22nd. It's the Sunday of when the Women's Weekend concludes. And this is a marvelous program that many of you attended that was put on by First Place for Health, where it really talks about some of these strongholds that we have and being able to put God first in our life in order to address it. A marvelous program. Check out our website. You will see some of that information in here too. We had Vicki Heath from First Place for Health on a broadcast with the lovely Laura Acuna, and we separately had Tessa on who will be the speaker, who will be streamed in, but you will still have a wonderful and impacting time here. Again, reservation limited. We have some space for you, but please join us. Girlfriends in God, many of you enjoy these three ladies when they come. This is happening October 16th through 18th. Stay tuned for the website just in case something adjusts for this. But the Girlfriends in God, always a wonderful time, even in this time of social distancing. So we look forward to welcoming them in October, and you as well. This is another very specialty one, ladies. This is the Senior Pastors' Wives retreat that is coming up October 19th through 21st. This too is kept small. It is for the senior pastors' wives because these are a group of ladies, even pre-COVID, who very rarely had space above them to go to someone like you do in your churches, to have someone pray for them, to be able to talk about some of those confidential items that we're all experiencing in our lives. And so this is an opportunity for them to come together and make community. And ladies, we will be having this for you right now. Again, check the website because if many of you find that you cannot come, we might have to cancel this one, but I prayerfully hope not, because you all have been doing Herculean tasks over these months in home as you take care of the people in your church community. Next up, the Caregivers Retreat will be repeated in October. That is designed to give you and the caretakers an alternative date, and most certainly you're welcome to come to both, but we know that we needed to have at least 2 dates to be flexible for those of you out there who one date would not be as best for the other. So again, the Caregivers Retreat, and you can again find that information on our website, as well as check out the Morning Cheer interview. Winter weekend, November 13th through 15th. This is the Women's Weekend that's occurring in November. We had on our broadcast, this was just absolutely marvelous because you know she sang. We had Linda Randall on. She will be the speaker. And next week, as I said, on Midday, Elise Metallo, who will be the praise and worship leader, she will be here next week for that. But these two ladies will be hosting here for the Winter Weekend, Women's Weekend, November 13th through 15th. One thing I did not mention in between there is Craft Around the Clock. That is November 6th through 8th, but it is sold out. You creative ladies, you are coming, and it is just going to be a joyful time. There too, we are going to be working with Kathy Miller in order to encourage social distancing in your places where you will be doing your craft activity. And so we look forward to your coming and doing your crafts of love, your creations of love that you do when you come. And so we look forward to that. The last event I want to talk about, and it is tentative at this time because we are not certain where things will be in December, but our annual Christmas celebration, December 6th through 7th. Right now, we do have Ellie LaFaro scheduled, and she will definitely come on midday somewhere in this intermittent time, regardless of whether or not we have the Christmas celebration. So Christmas celebration, December 6th through 7th with Ellie LaFaro, and we will keep the website updated about those pieces of information. And so that's what we have coming up in the fall in terms of our women's events. Ladies, as I said in the video that I did several months ago, I have missed you. I have been thinking of you, and I have been waiting for you. And so I am encouraged by those of you who feel that you can come away and come to Sandy Cove. We'll be looking forward to your arrival. And I just wanted to give those of you who might not be able to come out yet or are still thinking about it, just an idea of what's coming up in this fall in terms of women's events. You know that I get my energy from each and every one of you, and it has been my joy joy to be able to take a small part of my week each week to do Midday with Andrea, just so that I could express to you the love of Christ through our speakers, as well as the enthusiasm of wanting to minister to you. And so, folks, I want to thank each and every one of you who may have sat in on a piece of all of it of Midday with Andrea. This could not have happened without your care and support. Many of you have given comments in the comment section, which I'm not quite savvy at doing. We're going to try it right now. I'm not quite savvy at doing that all within the moment. I see that we've got Terry and Laura and Vicky. Hey, ladies. Wonderful to hear you and see you right here on the broadcast under the comments section. I wasn't able to do that throughout the other broadcasts, so please forgive me if I didn't do that earlier. But ladies, I just want to thank you all so much, and gentlemen as well, for joining me here on Midday with Andrea. And if you desire or have the need to check out any of the programming that I mentioned, check out our website, sandycove.org, or you can call reservations at this number right here that you see on the screen, and that will get back to them. So I do want to thank each and every one of you for your prayers. That gift of your prayers is just absolutely marvelous. And I will be closing out this broadcast with my normal charge to each and every one of you about prayers. But I want to thank you for the prayers that you have offered up, whether you have let us know about them or not. The word says the prayer of the righteous availeth much. And oftentimes, as you probably know, you have a day and you're feeling something, and someone is indeed praying for you. And so we just want to stay in a mind frame of keeping the Lord close to us so that we can hear from him well, so that we can know what it is that we need to do on his behalf in terms of forwarding his ministry. So ladies, if you come to Sandy Cove during this COVID time, we will have protocols for you, but we will also have a time of respite for you. Whether the weather is rainy, sunshiny, overcast, it's God's presence that's important. And so that's what we want to offer for you as you come. And so I thank each and every one of you who have given support at this time. And again, remember to join me next week for Elise. And my final huge thanks is to God for his provision of modern technology, his provision of his tangible touch in the guise of people such as Josh or yourselves, who give of yourselves to others, or who have given some support to this broadcast. I thank God for the provision of people, because it is without you that we would not feel his tangible touch. And so I thank God for his wisdom. I thank him for his will. And I thank him for ultimately the sacrifice that he gave of his son, Jesus Christ, because we know without that sacrifice, we would not be in the position that we're in now in order to, for example, bring our praises and our prayers and our hopes, our fears and our joys to him. And so we want to thank God for all of his provisions to us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I close this broadcast as I do all of my women's events, and that is giving you the encouragement to please, if someone comes to your mind, maybe their face flashes in your mind, or you see their name, would you please drop them a note and let them know, thinking of you. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be wordy. As I always say, send it via email, text, carrier pigeon, good old-fashioned ink pen and pencil, envelope and stamp. Let them know that you're thinking of them, especially during this time. This is how we are the feet of Jesus. I want to encourage you in that, and I just ask that you would please do that. Include scripture. If that is how you pray, that is always something special for someone to look back on 3 weeks after they received your post. So I encourage you to do that. And so, ladies and gentlemen out there, I just want to thank you so much for joining on Midday. Join me next week, and there will be intermittent times when I'll be doing Midday prayerfully. And so I want to thank you. I want to thank God, and I ask that you continue to take care of each other, take care of yourself, and continue to draw closer to God. Amen. Thank you.